Shout out to our sponsor, Loot Anime.
Get a crate of anime and manga goodies for only $24.95 a month.
Use offer code THEKNOW to get $3 off a new subscription. Welcome to The Know, I'm Turney.
I'm Sorola.
A barren wasteland filled with millions of parched citizens waiting to quench their thirst. This is not a Mad Max Fury Road, it's actually a story of Destiny players waiting for more content.
Fortunately for Guardians who have ripped through the game's spring update faster than you can say Yalahorn, Destiny's next expansion leaked on Snapchat last night.
That's the future of video games.
Nobody saved it.
Yeah, this leak occurred in the form of apparent marketing materials for the new expansion, which of course quickly made their way to Reddit.
The legitimacy of these materials for the new expansion has been confirmed by multiple sources to Kotaku. The same Kotaku that's been right about Destiny insider information a number of times over the last couple of years. They also say it's going to make its debut at E3.
The whole thing was also retweeted by Nolan North, of course, who we all know took the place of the axed Peter Dinklage from the game as your new voice of Ghost. That also means the leak is double true.
Although calling this whole thing a leak seems a little bit fishy, the fact that multiple sources reached out to confirm it, the fact that the whole image was so cleanly displayed, it also just happened to come out on the 1-year anniversary of Destiny's first expansion, House of Wolves.
Yeah, get some red string and a lot of push pins.
Yes. A little bit
something's going.
Seems like an intentional leak.
Yes, absolutely. According to Kotaku's sources, the next expansion will feature a brand new raid, the high point of Destiny's content, so I guess that's pretty cool. Plus, they're also reporting that the new expansions will be larger in size than the two Year 1 expansions, House of Wolves and The Dark Below.
It'll also probably feature more guns, bigger guns, and indecipherable lore, because that's how Destiny rolls.
Kotaku's sources also confirmed that the new raid will center around the Fallen, saying it's Fallen with a twist.
That's how I like my vodka. It's like a little
just
lime
Fallen
twist.
with just a little twist. Yeah. While we haven't had a Fallen raid just yet, this may be a bit of a disappointment for fans who are hoping for more Cabal-based content.
We got a little bit more from the Cabal in The Taken King, but so far there's been really nothing totally devoted to them.
Anyway, back to Rise of Iron, what we definitely do know, sort of. Calling this expansion larger than the other previous expansions doesn't mean a whole lot, considering how minimal those two updates were in terms of content. You're probably gonna get mad I said that. It's also kind of telling that they left out talking about the new expansion size in relation to The Taken King, which was the big granddaddy of Destiny expansions to close out Year 1.
So basically we can probably count on the new expansion being smaller than the last September's Taken King, which players were done with by October.
So, wake me up. Never mind, there's a joke there. Still, it's new content, and now we've got plenty of stuff to speculate on for the direction that Destiny is about to take. The image supplied in this leak actually does give us quite a bit of information.
So heads up, we're about to deep dive into some Destiny lore. It's the perfect way to start your weekend.
Yeah, and the best way to flesh out a story. The character standing in the poster with a badass hammer and surrounded by wolves appears to be Lord Saladin, or something looking very much like him. Lord Saladin, for you filthy casuals out there, is the guy who heads up the Iron Banner events in the Crucible.
He's one of the Iron Lords who, along with the Iron Wolves, were tasked with guarding the last city in its early days against the Fallen.
The Iron Banner, Destiny's PvP event, is held regularly in honor of both groups. Plus, much of the gear rewarded during the Iron Banner is named after their members.
So when you take the fact that Lord Saladin is featured on the poster and add it to the name Rise of Iron, it seems like we could be dealing with a similar storyline, namely one about the resurgence of the Fallen making another massive attack on the city.
This seems to be corroborated by some eagle-eyed Redditors who created a GIF showing the Cosmodrome from the game's opening mission alongside the poster, where it looks like the wall has been knocked down.
So maybe the game's current Guardians could be on their way to becoming the new Lords of Iron, perhaps?
It's all
Question mark?
connected.
Maybe?
Perhaps.
Red string again.
We don't know. Since the inside sources have said that the raid is Fallen with a twist, like we said before, it seems like the new raid is something totally different than we've seen before from the game.
Considering much of the lore around the Iron Lords has to do with defending the city from a huge wave of Fallen, some are speculating that we could be doing the same thing in the new raid.
That'd be a pretty big change, since most of the raids are offensive strikes in nature rather than defending a location for a stretch of time.
To get even wilder with the speculation, if we're going with the story turning Destiny players into new Lords of Iron, there were originally 9 Iron Lords, many of whom fell at the Battle of Twilight Gap.
So maybe we could be looking at the game's first 9-player raid as opposed to the normal 6-player raids. I'm sure Achievement Hunter will be very happy. And to make things more interesting, what if Bungie decided to make the Lords of Iron the first people who complete the raid?
That'd be pretty interesting. Bungie's been making a big deal about the first players who defeat each new raid, giving them special recognition. And it'd be pretty cool if the first people who finished the raid got items named after them in the Iron Banner.
Yeah, it'd be like a cool version of, remember the kid who got a room in Zelda, but then it was hidden and nobody could fucking get to it? It'd be like a nice version of that. Although the whole theory falls apart part when you think about the practical application. Being awarded the SSJ Goku's Mom 69 shotgun after schooling some fools in the Crucible would be fucking sweet.
I would keep that weapon.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if I got a better drop later, I'd be like, no.
Excuse me, he's holding the SSJ Goku's Mom 69,
Yeah,
so.
it was pretty much the best thing
Yeah.
ever. So yeah, that doesn't really work. But speaking of weapons, many are also hoping that this expansion gives way to a Year 3 version of the OP but now nerfed exotic rocket launcher Galahorn. Why am I the one always saying this? The lore behind that weapon is that it was created from the armor of those who fell during the Battle of Twilight Gap.
So regardless of the direction the new expansion plans are going, it's good for Destiny players who've been dying for any more content. Bungie has basically had a content problem with this game since day one.
At their recent earnings call, Activision even acknowledged that players, quote, wanted more content than we've been able to create, end quote. They've had to shuffle around their updates to keep players happy, plus they focus on microtransactions as a way to fund more regular live updates.
Although again, those live updates haven't been much to write home to the tower about. So far we've gotten some more variations of the old content, besides the Sparrow Racing League, which we had back in December.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That hasn't slowed down the active player base though. Activision also reported that they are now 30 million registered Guardians with over 100 hours of playtime each.
Good God.
That's a lot of playtime.
So much playtime. Destiny Rise of Iron is probably going to come out this September, just around the game's 2nd anniversary, more than likely, with Destiny 2 confirmed for 2017. Hopefully we'll hear about plans for both at E3 next month.
So what do you guys think about the leaked Destiny expansion? Sound off with your fan theories in the comments below with your Galahorn. Why is it even there? It doesn't make sense!
Galahorn. For future deep dives in Destiny lore, like this video, subscribe to the know.
Thanks to Loot Anime for sponsoring this update.
Loot Anime sends you over $60 worth of cool stuff, starting at $24.95 each month.
Each crate has a theme, and this month's theme is Unity.
It's the power of teamwork.
The new crate features exclusive items from Full Metal Alchemist, Dragon Ball Z, The Boy and the Beast, and more.
Use offer code THEKNOW to get $3 off a brand new subscription.
Get it before it's gone though, because they usually sell out.